What's up everybody, Dave here with the Fragrance Bros. Today I just want to talk about something that a lot of people have already talked about, and that is this. Is Creed ripping people off? So I wanted to make this video kind of as an answer to some of the accusations against Creed. I obviously like Creed. I have a couple of their fragrances. I think they make really good fragrances. But every time a fragrance company like Tom Ford or Creed, usually one of the more popular fragrance brands, anytime they increase their prices, people automatically accuse them of being greedy, of gouging their customers, or what have you. So I want to talk about that real quick and see if they really are. Now recently there have been a couple of videos out there that have talked about how Creed is raising their prices of their fragrances, and I've even seen one that's talking about how they're getting rid of some of the sizes. Now of course everything is subject to change. I have no idea how things will turn out. As of right now I don't believe that the price change is in effect yet, and certainly the size change isn't in effect yet. So I don't know. But anyway, I want to talk about why companies have to raise their prices. Can we talk about companies real quick? For a moment, do we think that companies exist for charity? Like, how dare Creed make a company and charge money for their products? Now, just saying that is gonna offend people. And I don't know why people get so up in arms about this. You know, either you like a fragrance and you're gonna buy it, or you don't. Companies exist because they want to exist, and they exist to make money. Now, I'm not an economist, so I can't definitively tell you things from an experiential point of view here about the economics and prices and things like that. However, I do know that price is determined by supply and demand, and the cost is reasonable when the supply and the demand are at equilibrium. So for instance, if the demand stays the same, but there's an overabundance of supply, that will decrease the cost because the equilibrium is out of balance. Conversely, if there's an increase in demand while not an increase in supply, the price has to increase to bring everything back in equilibrium. If the price were too high on these fragrances, the company would see that the demand was not reaching the level of supply that they had for the price of that. So they'd have to do something about what they're going to do about the cost equaling out. So when a company has to increase their prices, it could be several different things. I don't know why Creed exactly increased their prices, but I want to look at that. Now, obviously, it could just be supply and demand. Maybe there's more of a demand on Creed, and so they have to increase the price just a little bit to meet that demand. So this is one reason why you see discounted fragrances in the world. There's an overabundance of certain fragrances, so you can find those on discounted sites, because the companies who make these fragrances didn't sell all of them at full retail. So they sell them in bulk to these fragrance companies, who then in turn sell them at discounted rates. That equals out the demand, and therefore you can buy fragrances at a cheaper cost. Also too, you'll see that when fragrances like Pure Malt back in the day, when you couldn't find it, when the supply was really low but the demand was really high, on eBay it was selling for like $350 a bottle. Now you can get it for like $70 or $80 a bottle because they increased the supply. Now the cost increase on Creed for the 2.5 ounce bottle was $25 more. It was $350 retail for the 2.5 ounce before, and the suggested increase is going to be up to $375. Now I did the math, and that's about a 7% increase. Now that's significant. I'm not going to deny that. It's not huge. I don't think it's gouging, but it's a significant price increase. However, I want to put that into perspective because every company has to increase their prices over time. Creed and Tom Ford are not the only companies that have to increase their prices. But you see it more with these perfume companies because the price of their product is a lot higher. So if you go to the store and you buy a bag of chips for $2, the increase over time for that product may only be pennies. It may only be 10 cents. And you may not even recognize that it costs more money now than it did. But if you look at it over time, over the years, you'll find that it's kept up with the rate of inflation. Inflation is something that happens all over the world with the cost of money. It's the power of your money. The power of your money decreases over time, which is what inflation is. So you have to pay more of your dollars to get more of your things. Inflation rates change all the time and every year, but the average rate of inflation over the last several years has been about 3.25%. Because of inflation, every company has to increase the cost of their goods to make up for the cost they're spending on the products that they're using. All the products and services that that company is using also has a rate of inflation applied to it, so they're passing on the cost of that to the consumer. That's just making money. That's just how a company has to operate. So if you look at this, if you look at what Creed is doing, they're increasing their fragrances by 7%. Now that's more than the cost of inflation. However, they're not going to increase the prices of their fragrances every year. And they don't increase it every year. They increase it every several years. So obviously can't speak to the operational cost of the Creed business, but from what it looks like they're just trying to keep up with inflation. I don't know if they have extra costs for ingredients. I don't know if the demand is starting to exceed supply. I'm not really sure, but from what it looks like they're just trying to keep up with the rate of inflation for the next few years before they have to raise prices again. I remember seeing a post a couple of years ago on a Facebook forum that was talking about a Creed that they found from 20 years ago. It had a sticker price and it was something like $200, which everyone was saying, wow, look at the prices, look how much they've jacked up the prices since then. But if you look at the rate of inflation, you can actually go to inflation calculators. If you calculate for inflation based on those calculators online, the cost of a Creed then in the 90s would be around the $200 mark with today's dollars, just adjusted for inflation. So it's not like they've been purposely gouging and they've been raising prices on purpose to try to get more money out of us. Us poor consumers will have to put up with Creed fragrances being amazing. No, they've just been slowly raising prices just to keep up with the rate of inflation. Now that's ultimately all I think it is. Now it could be also true that they're purposely trying to build in some more profit to try to make more money, but they're not doing it by much. They're only doing it by like 3% if you adjust for inflation. I don't know about you, but Creed bottles are pretty pricey. And $25 extra, yeah, it's more money, but it's only $25 extra. It's not a big deal ultimately if I'm looking to buy a Creed fragrance for a lot of money. I think many people are gonna think like this. They're gonna think, I want a Creed anyway, $25 extra, I'm not gonna miss it. Now, regardless of how expensive Creed fragrances are full retail, I really suggest you not buy full retail and you don't have to even worry about the cost increase. Definitely go to an aftermarket website who sells these at discounted rates. My suggestion, go to Fragrance X. Fragrance X is the sponsor of this video. Fragrance X sells thousands of fragrances, legit fragrances, for reduced costs. That includes Creed. I'll have a link down below to them and a coupon so you can go and buy your Creed fragrances without having to pay retail. So guys, let me know what you think of Creed. Is it ridiculous that they're raising the prices, or do you see my points? Let me know down in the comments. Are you gonna pay the extra money or not? As always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. I'll love you for it. I'll see you next time. I'm Dave with the Fragrance Bros. Bye. Thanks everyone for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to check out my other channel, Beast Made Reviews, where me and a friend review high quality products for men. You might like it. Go check it out.